Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Federico Talks Watches. Today I've got to answer a few more questions that I ignored last Q&A. Questions such as, what do I think of the very controversial Zenith Chronomaster Sport? And how much discount should you be asking at an authorized dealer? All that and more in today's episode. Now, of course, before we get started, customary wristwatch check. Today I'm wearing my Rolex Submariner Hulk. Been a little while since this has been on my wrist, but I think I'm going to wear this throughout the month. Absolutely loving it. And also, guys, don't forget to check out DelrayWatchcom. A few very interesting watches came in. We just got in a Tag Heuer Monaco in the Gulf livery. Box papers, very, very, very hard to find. We got in a brand new unworn Asaoka Kurono Chronograph 2. Also very hard to find unworn and completely sold out. And a very beautiful example of a blue dial vintage Rolex Datejust. Very common in champagne. In silver, a little harder to find than black, but the hardest one is blue. And we have it at DelrayWatchcom, link in the description below. So yeah, guys, on to the questions. And the first one is from the Man Cave 007. And he says, "Hey Fed, always great content. Thanks, brother. What are your thoughts on the controversial Zenith Chronomaster Sport?" I love it. I think Zenith knew what they were doing by making it look like a Daytona, and it's a big middle finger to Rolex. I mean, the Daytona started with the El Primero movement. Of course, now it's in-house. But you know what? I think it's fantastic. It's cheaper than a Daytona. It's got the El Primero movement, which arguably is nicer than a Daytona movement. Now, I say arguably because actually the new Daytona movement is quite fine. It's got a ceramic bezel. It looks very similar, but it's made by Zenith. I think that is a much more watch geek watch than the Rolex. And the Zeniths, while are not sold out everywhere, they're a little hard to get at the moment. They did cause a little bit of a stir because of their look of the Daytona. What do I think? I think it's a great watch. Go grab it. Hell, I'd rather have the Zenith than the Daytona, unless, of course, I was going to flip the Daytona for a profit. That's the only reason I'd have a Daytona. The next question, Rob_Stone says, "What are your thoughts about the Ulysse Nardin Freak X? What kind of a discount could I expect from an AD? Keep up the great work." So the Ulysse Nardin Freak was a fantastic watch when it first came out. It was one of the first crazy watches before Urwerk, MB&F, Richard Mille. It was kind of like what made avant-garde crazy watchmaking cool was the Freak. The Freak X is the new version of the Freak, which I think is actually a little bit of a cost-cut version. They mean new interesting materials. You know, you have now carbon fiber. I don't know, though. Something feels cost-cut about it. They're not as detailed. The movement looks a little bit more dumbed down. Still a rather expensive watch. However, certainly not as popular as the Freaks from before. Now, I can tell you the margin on Ulysse Nardin from dealer... from brand to dealer is, I believe, 40%, maybe 45%. I believe an authorized dealer, not a big chain, not Tourneau, but I think a smaller authorized dealer would gladly give you about 20% off so they can make 20 to 25% themselves, especially in today's watch market, which is super hot. To all those people saying, "Oh, you should ask for 30, I mean, you could, but 99% chance that it's just going to be no. I think you should, you can ask for 30, but I think you should expect 20, honestly. Ryan Edmond says, "Did you go to college or university for anything?" Well, yes. I went to City College in New York and University of Wales in Cardiff for business and communication, but I was never a good student. I never got my degree. I kind of dropped out and went to work in watch retail. And, here I am. I think I ended up pretty okay. Kind of. And then last but not least, Gunnar_Mo. "Which brand would you spend your money on as a beginner? Oris, Hamilton, Glycine, Pre-Invicta?" I'm going to go with Oris or Hamilton. If you're going to spend pre-owned close to $1,000, go Oris. See some great dive watches. You can even get great complicated watches. Now, while watches in this price range don't generally hold value fantastically, with exceptions, I think Oris is a great taste of fine Swiss watchmaking. Hamilton, if you want to spend less, $300-400, even a little less than that. Hamilton Khaki King, you have some dive watches as well. Very, very great watches for the price, but definitely more Spartan than the Oris. Pre-Invicta Glycine, I was never a Glycine fan. Yes, they're iconic, they're priced well, but I thought they were not particularly handsome and not particularly well made before Invicta, and I certainly don't think they're any better after Invicta. And while that's going to get me shit, because I think there's a lot of Glycine fans out there, I think, I don't know. They're better watches for the money. I'd go Oris and Hamilton personally. Glycine, not bad for the money, but listen, not my choice. I certainly think Oris is definitely a step above, and I'd say Hamilton is too for the most part. Anyway, guys, that's it for today. Thanks so much for watching. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. It really does help. And don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any more content. Guys, thanks so much, and I'll catch you in the next one. Take care.